Humans have been relying on trees for thousands of years, from building shelters to fueling our fires. And it's no understatement that wood is the most used material in the world. But can humans survive without it? If all the trees in the world were to disappear right now, will humanity survive? Let's imagine that all species of trees disappear from the face of our planet. What would happen? Well, let us first list out the useful things trees do for us. We all know the basics, like they provide us shelter, prevent soil erosion, they give us like 20 to 30% of food ingredients we eat daily, blah, blah, blah. The main point of trees is that they absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, and trees are responsible for producing 30% of oxygen in the atmosphere. Whatever, right? We still have 70% of the oxygen produced by small plants, algae, and whatnot. And as for the food problem, we can just eat seafood, vegetables, and other poultry foods. Who needs fruits anyway, right? Well, yes, humanity as a whole can and will survive for a time being, but the 30% dip in oxygen will decline overall food production by 20 to 30%. Human physical performance will decrease by about 10 to 20%. Increase in fatigue, dizziness, and shortness of breath. Increased mortality rates for vulnerable people like the elderly, young, and those with respiratory issues. Still, humanity will survive for the time being, but animals like monkeys, giraffes, and other hundreds of thousands of species who rely on trees for food and shelter will go extinct pretty quickly. 99% of all bird species will also die. This is a huge problem, because birds are responsible for 70% of seed distribution and pollination, so there will be a huge dip in reproduction of plants. Birds also help with pest control as they prey on insects, rodents, and other pests. Birds provide plenty more benefits to humans and nature, and we will lose all of that if we lose all the trees. These are some of the short-term effects. They are significant, but not to an extent of ending the human species. But on the long term, it's a completely different story. Over a year or so, the amount of plankton in the ocean will decrease significantly due to the dip in oxygen. Plankton are the primary food source that small fish eat to survive. So the decrease in plankton means the decrease of overall fish population by about 30%. We were already overfishing in the ocean. Now we will have to go into deeper waters to catch some decent fish. And also, due to the dip in oxygen in green plants, there will be excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which will mix with the ocean water and lead to an increase in the acidity level. This will completely ruin all coral life and kill all the shellfish. Some weaker species of fish will also go extinct, as they can't adapt fast enough to this harsh environment. So, what does this mean to us humans? Well, all these long-term effects will result in a decrease in human population by around 40 to 50%, and at the end, only the physically fit people will survive. This will also affect the technological and transportation fields significantly, as petroleum, charcoal, and other fossil fuels require oxygen to burn, and the dip in the oxygen level in the atmosphere will decrease the efficiency with which the fuel is burnt, resulting in around 30% less energy produced. This will significantly affect the quality of life of all surviving humans, and all forms of transport will become incredibly more expensive and affect the environment even more due to the inefficient burning of the fuel. So, in conclusion, yes, humanity as a species will survive, but it won't be a life worth living. All the things that make life worth living, like the scenic beauty of mountains, forests, animals, abundant good food, etc., will be gone. And what will be left is deserted grasslands and humans hoarding and fighting for the food and resources left.